Thunderbolts is the final movie in Phase 5 of the MCU and one of my favourites next to these two. Which, now that I think about it, both these movies have gold-themed Superman-like characters that affect the protagonist in various ways, which we'll get into later on. I might be reaching a little bit, but it's such a crazy coincidence. Anyway, I had a great time with this movie. I've seen a lot of comments claiming it's on par or even better than Endgame, and I'm not gonna go say all of that, but it was an enjoyable watch. The movie centers around these guys right here, who get introduced to each other when Valentina, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, sends each of them on a mission to kill another without telling them they're all working for her. I feel like I could have said that a lot better. She does this because she's trying to cover up her dark past in order to keep her position, if that makes sense. This was the moment I really started liking the movie, and I'm pretty sure that's the case for most people. The fight scene here was solid. I liked how each one figured out the other's weaknesses and used them to their advantage. It actually reminded me of the Thor, Iron Man and Cap fight scene from the first Avengers movie. Same-ish team building chaos, just with a darker tone. Luckily it doesn't feel forced. I'm sure this isn't much of a spoiler, but Taskmaster's the only one who ends up getting killed, and honestly, I'm fine with that. I didn't hate the character in Black Widow, but I wasn't super attached either. I only really got familiar with Taskmaster through Spider-Man on the PS4, and I actually preferred that version. It would have been cool to see something closer to that in the MCU, and she wasn't exactly a major presence here, so it didn't really hit hard. After that happens, they quickly realize why they were sent there in the first place, and this is where the chemistry between them really starts to shine. It just works so well. This moment reminded me of that scene in the first Avengers movie on the helicarrier when they had that brief argument. A character named Bob soon appears after Taskmaster is killed. He looks disoriented wearing hospital scrubs, and when the team questions him, he doesn't seem to remember much. Earlier in the film, Yelena had found paperwork on something called Project Sentry while snooping around. So when Bob shows up, things start clicking into place. Turns out he's the only survivor of that experiment, and he's way more powerful and unstable than anyone expected. We also find out about some of his powers early on, like when he accidentally touches Yelena's hand and she's instantly hit with flashes of her darkest memories, which is triggered through the Void, a dark alter ego that lives inside him. The Void feeds off pain and trauma, not just Bob's, but the people around him. As his mental state unravels, the Void grows stronger, eventually taking over. I nearly forgot to mention Bucky and Red Guardian being in this movie. If you watched Brave New World, then you already know that Bucky starts serving as a congressman. This plays a big role in the plot as he uses his position to investigate and expose Valentina's dark history, which obviously ties into how he ends up getting involved with the Thunderbolts. This is one of the first times in a while where we get to see him closer to how he was in the Winter Soldier, in my opinion, especially during the scene where he captures the Thunderbolts. Red Guardian is also one of my favourites in the movie. He's introduced earlier, but later on helps the rest of the team after things start falling apart. His connection to Yelena gets a bit more focus here, and you can tell he's really trying to make up for his past mistakes. He feels more of the comic relief role in the group, but it doesn't feel forced and it helps balance out some of the heavier moments. Most of what I've said so far has been pretty positive, but before I get into the bad, I'll quickly go over a few more things I liked. I might have mentioned this already, but the chemistry between the team was great throughout. Everyone, including Bob, even as a new character, fit into the dynamic really well in my opinion. The fight scene between Sentry and the Thunderbolts was very enjoyable, some of the best action we've had in the MCU in a while. I like how the film touches on mental health, especially through Bob and the Void. It's what pushes Yelena to show empathy towards him and try to help him throughout the movie. Another similarity to the earlier Avengers film is how Natasha and Bruce start to understand each other, with her being the one to calm him down as the Hulk, obviously without the romantic involvement here. There was quite a bit of CGI in certain moments, but it was handled really well. The cinematography during the Void scenes was also very creative. I would have liked a few more casualties just to give it a bit more of a heavier feel, but it was still enjoyable. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of right now. Let's get into the things I didn't really enjoy. The beginning was a bit slow and I was starting to get worried. I didn't want it to be another forgettable movie, even though my expectations weren't high based on my experience with Brave New World, but thankfully things do pick up and keep a steady momentum. Might get some hate for this, but I wasn't that much of a fan of Valentina. She had her standout moments of course, but I was having such a good time with the team that every time it would switch to her, it felt a bit flat. Again, nothing too crazy, but definitely noticeable in my opinion. I already briefly mentioned the CGI in certain moments, but again, it wasn't anything extremely bad. In fact, it was really just during the Sentry fight scene, so there's no need to stay on that for too long. And honestly, that's about it. Nothing else really worth mentioning, and that's a good thing. I was hoping this wouldn't be another Suicide Squad situation, and thankfully it really wasn't. I'm actually looking forward to seeing where things go next with these characters. It really did feel like an earlier MCU film that could have fit quite well with Phase 3 in my opinion, obviously with a few changes. Or maybe not, I don't know man, I just hope we keep a steady momentum until Doomsday and Secret Wars. Let me know down below what you thought about the movie and whether or not you agree with anything I said. Thanks so much for watching the video if you made it this far into it, and please like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, so I'll catch you in a bit.